A very low background. A red wild boar, a very tortuous experience. Surviving in the wild, a growth experience that no one can beat. Even ants bully him, the survival of a world dominated by demons and monsters. Let's live first, a system that is not very useful. Besides, money, it is still money, crazy opponents one by one, are they both crossing over? Do you also have a system? Is the master who has been practicing Qi for 10,000 years so crazy? Surprisingly, there are 3 heads and 6 arms. What? Do you have 7 stunning sisters? Isn't it? This guy has a Empress Master. Who is that? Surprisingly, there is such amazing luck. Are you all the protagonists from other places? Where did this come from, an ordinary senior brother? Heavenly Way Abnormality. Is the demon attacking? Do you have any normal opponents? If the opponent is very strong and cannot fight, then switch heads. Exchange heads, exchange lives. The head can be changed, the heart remains unchanged, there are enmities and grudges, a beautiful picture of life, and the waves of life emerge layer by layer. Everything is difficult, but I will eventually be proud of the 3 realms with a smile. Chapter 1. Getting drunk and crossing the 9-headed road. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hi. Is anyone there? Is there anyone? Where is this? Can someone come? I really saw a ghost, so I just drank a little wine and ended up in this dark place. Meng Huai has been wandering here for a long time. But I can't get out no matter how. He couldn't help but curse wildly at the sky. He really doesn't know what the situation is now. After working hard for a month and a half, I just received my salary during the day and was extremely happy. After work, Meng Huai rewarded herself with extra meals as a reward for her hard work, 5 yuan mantu, 4 cans of cold beer, and 1.5 pounds of pig's head meat. Also made the boss more spicy, returned to the small house I rented, after taking a shower, taking off all my clothes, opening my phone, and finding my favorite novel, I put it forward, with 3 mantu in his left hand and chopsticks in his right hand, he held up the wine jar from time to time to eat meat and drink wine. Enjoy watching, eating, drinking, and enjoying, not to mention the pleasure. He likes to drink, but unfortunately, his tolerance for alcohol is too poor, and he claims to pour it out in 1 cup. But today, because there was meat, spicy, hot weather, cold beer, and a refreshing sensation, I drank 4 cans without realizing it, then, with a bang, his face hit the keyboard and he became unconscious. After waking up, he found himself in this pitch-black place. No light, no direction, nothing. He has been walking, but he just can't leave. Where have I been? The underworld. Or is it a time and space rift? Meng Huai felt the darkness flowing around him like substance. What the hell is this? He reached out and grabbed around a few times, feeling a hint of coolness passing through his fingers, but couldn't grab anything. Perhaps due to a hangover, he had the aftermath of being drunk, with a dry mouth and tongue. He wanted to drink something, opened his mouth, and bit towards the darkness. Well, it's pretty good to eat. It tastes like jelly to the mouth, but after swallowing it, it turns into air. It's not a big deal to eat this. Hungry. He couldn't help but open his mouth wide and keep eating. Why do you want to eat so much? Did I become a starving ghost? It shouldn't be. Before I died, I should have eaten more than 1 gene of pig's head meat and 4 mantu. I'm full, and I shouldn't be a starving ghost anyway. Meng Huai felt a bit confused. Forget it, forget it, forget it, it's important to eat first. He buried himself in the work again. The more you eat, the more hungry you become, and the more you want to eat. Darkness has no time. In this way, I don't know how long it took, but I actually ate out a crack in this boundless darkness. I'll just say, darkness is temporary, light is eternal. Why do you say that? Because in the darkness, I can't see anything and have no concept of time. How can I distinguish between temporary and permanent? Seeing the slit of light, Meng Huai happily muttered to himself. His mouth didn't stop. After a few more days, he finally dug a big hole in the darkness. Make an effort to drill out of this hole. Ha, there's light. Where is this again? I won't drill a hole from hell and come to heaven, will I? Here, white light flickers, smoke swirls, it's hard to see clearly from afar, and there's nothing nearby. Meng Huai strolled among them, observing while walking. After walking for a long time, when Meng Huai wanted to scold his mother again, he saw a yellow platform appearing in the white mist ahead. Looking up, it was as high as a 9-story building. After struggling to climb up, I saw 2 beads floating on the high platform, emitting red and white light. The red beads, like fire, seemed to be able to burn all things in the world. The white beads, like ice, seemed to be able to freeze the 3 realms of heaven, earth, and humanity. What kind of treasure is this? Chaos Pearl. Yin-Yang Pearl. Fire Spirit Pearl. Water Spirit Pearl. Seeing these 2 beads, Meng Huai's eyes lit up instantly, and his mind was filled with various magical treasures and spiritual treasures from the journey of the Fengshen in the wilderness to the west. Hi, no matter what, these 2 beads must be good things. It's more likely the key to my escape from this haunted place. Upon this thought, Meng Huai ran over directly. I'll go. What kind of monster is this? Only when he arrived did he see clearly that there was a monster lying here, all red in color. The monster is not big, the size of a kitten. It looks a bit cute, but it has a head that he doesn't know. It's very strange that a dragon is not a dragon, and a tiger is not a tiger either. 9 more. Has it been seriously injured? Meng Huai watched as either the left and right 8 heads of the little beast were not fully developed, or their essence had been drained, all of which were dry and pale, without any anger. The shrunken appearance of that head was similar to that of a dead person's fingers that had been blistered and turned white. Even the larger head in the middle was hanging down, with a pale face, eyes tightly closed, and little breath left. The red and white beads float on the middle big head of these 9 monsters, constantly emitting a sparkling divine light, presumably to treat it. Done. The treasure that I found after running for so long, I didn't expect it to still be owned. Meng Huai was originally an ordinary person, but when he suddenly saw such a monster with 9 heads, he was already bold enough to lie down without being scared. This would make him want to compete with this monster for treasure, but he still lacks some courage. Go look elsewhere. Woo! Meng Huai had just turned around and wanted to leave when the monster suddenly started barking. Did the monster wake up? Hurry up and run. This is Meng Huai's first reaction. He doesn't think he, as an ordinary person in the 21st century, has the strength to defeat this strange-looking guy. Sa Yazi, run. Unfortunately, it is of no use at all. Call out. Ah. The 9-headed little beast opened its mouth and sucked him back, falling directly to the ground, causing him to see stars in the eyes. Don't be afraid, a loud voice echoed around. Great God! Let me go. I didn't steal your spirit bead, nor did I harm your spirit beast. Meng Huai, struggling recklessly on the ground, shouted into the sky. Don't be afraid. It's me talking to you. The 9-headed monster on the ground didn't open its mouth, but its voice came from its body. Meng Huaigang just thought there were other great powers. Is it you? He just lowered his head to look at the small 9-headed monster. Are you awake? Looking at the head with its eyes still closed, he felt a bit puzzled. I'm dying. Meng Huai didn't know what to say, but her mind was hot and she blurted out. Then you mourn. Mourning. I'm dead, who else do you want me to mourn for? My brain is sick. The 9-headed monster ignored him and asked, where did you come from as a wandering soul? Why did you enter my sea of consciousness? What? This is your sea of knowledge. Meng Huai was really surprised this time. Don't you know? Aren't you trying to take me away? The monster's only slightly spiritual face showed confusion. Taking over. What's so good about taking away your 9 heads? I just want to go home. I want to go back to my world, and I also want to drink, eat meat, read novels, and hang out with girls. Meng Huai howled with grief and anger. Chapter 2. The 9-headed beast disperses, the sea of consciousness reopens, and is killed at birth. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Your world. Which small world are you from? The 9-headed little monster was even more confused. The power of dog shit. I have been to the ground, worked, served dishes, delivered meals, and even chatted with the anchor. I have also been cheated out of money by a wealthy woman. I have done everything, but I have never done anything like Deneng. Meng Huai, who has been a nobody for a lifetime, is full of complaints. What? What are you talking about? Why haven't you ever heard of it? The face of the 9-headed little beast was full of confusion. After complaining, Meng Huai seemed to suddenly think of something. Is this one who can grow 9 heads a descendant of some divine beast? I don't know if there are any supernatural powers. If you could send me back. After pondering this, Meng Huai immediately smiled and leaned in. I don't know what you call it yet, he said to the 9-headed beast with a smile. My surname is Meng. Ha, me too. People with the same surname, we were together 500 years ago. Meng Huai became excited. How old are you? How old is it? How long has it been since you were born? In less than a day, the 9-headed little beast answered honestly. Ah. Just born like this. However, it can also be said that I am 10 years old because my mother has been pregnant with me for 10 years. Oh. He doesn't understand the world of divine beasts, Meng Huai replied casually. Meng Huai had long noticed that these 9 little beasts looked terrifying, but their hearts were pure and innocent, like babies. Then I'm older than you, let's call you, brother. He continued to smile, trying to test the little guy's background. Little brother, what is your bloodline? What is bloodline? The 9-headed little beast looked at Meng Huai in confusion. That's right, this little guy has just been born one day and probably doesn't understand anything. Meng Huai became more direct and said, Little brother, do you have any supernatural powers? The 9-headed little beast shook its head and then nodded again, eating too much, is that okay? What? Is there still this divine power? Meng Huai heard of it for the first time. The injuries of the 9-headed small beast seemed to be extremely severe. After just a few words, its body became much dimmer. Meng Huai was afraid that it wouldn't last long and didn't dare to talk nonsense. He quickly got straight to the topic. Can you send me back to my original world? I don't even know where you came from, how could I send you back? The 9-headed beast asked in a strange way. Besides, I am already dead, and now I have only 1 soul and 3 souls left. I am being nurtured by my own life spirit bead, and I have long been unable to protect myself. Oh my, I'll go, little brother. You're so reasonable. Alas, it doesn't work. Meng Huai suddenly became depressed and stood there, looking down to think. Sorry. The 9-headed little beast suddenly said. Ah. What? Meng Huai was thinking about it, but before he could figure out the situation, he looked up and asked him. My body can't hold up anymore. Can't hold on anymore. What will happen? Bang! The 9 little beasts didn't have time to answer, and the 8 heads, along with their bodies, exploded together. The tremendous energy instantly swept across the entire sea of consciousness. That space, which was originally filled with white mist, suddenly became fragmented, it's like a crystal ball shattered. Oh, let me go, little brother. Are you too sudden? Let me have no defense at all. Meng Huai's heart is filled with tears. He's still here. What will he do if this sea of consciousness breaks? He hasn't found his way out yet. Where can he hide? At the moment before being torn apart by the energy storm, Meng Huaifu jumped up to his heart and grabbed the red and white spirit beads. The red bead on his left hand and the white bead on his right hand, one emitting the most yang energy and the other emitting the most yin energy, kept circulating the yin and yang energy, which stabilized Meng Huai's soul. But his condition is not good either. The energy storm around him is still tearing him apart, ready to tear him to pieces at any moment. Help me. Looking at the nine-headed little beast with only one head left, Meng Huai's face was deformed by the wind and he struggled to shout. Do you want to live? Help me. At this moment, Meng Huai had nothing else to say. Then you have to bear my love and hate. I hope you will have a good choice. After speaking, the largest head of the nine-headed little beast, which had been keeping its eyes closed, opened its eyes. These eyes were crimson, filled with dissatisfaction, resentment, deep hatred, and a hint of helplessness. I'll die, you'll live. It shouted towards the sea and sky. Open. The last head of the nine-headed beast exploded. The innate spiritual light contained within it was like a sword that opened up the heavens, directly splitting open Meng Huai's body and then the chaotic white mist. Invisible chaotic substances, some rise and some sink, those that rise become the sea and sky, and those that sink become the dry seabed. Two beads, red in the east and white in the west, emitting waves of spiritual wind, gently brushing the reopened world and stabilizing the entire consciousness realm. In the sky, white clouds drifted one after another, each containing some memories of those nine little beasts. Among them, there is also a particularly huge purple-black cloud, which contains the deepest obsession of the nine-headed beast. Revenge. 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 If you take over my body, you will seek revenge on me. Revenge my mother. The deepest roar of the nine-headed little beasts could be heard incessantly in the dark clouds. And Meng Huai, in the moment he was chopped apart, felt his consciousness dispersed. All thoughts are dispersing towards all things in the sea of consciousness, constantly merging with this piece of heaven and earth. During the fusion process, he became the nine-headed little beast, receiving some of its memories and walking through its brief life again. The starting point of the consciousness of the nine-headed beast is in a small house. This house is red and filled with warm liquid everywhere. He lived there for a long time. One day, a very pleasant and gentle voice came from outside. The voice told him that she was his mother, the woman of the Northern Demon King, and the Xianfei Xian. Although the consciousness of the nine-headed beast was sometimes absent, he knew that Xian often told him about what the world was like, how the 10,000 demons empire prospered, the various struggles in the palace, the development and growth of her mother's family, the Qishui Tianlu clan, and so on. Of course, as a married woman, she talked most about her husband, one of the 5 great powers of the 10,000 demons empire, and the true ruler of the northern territory of the empire. The Northern Demon King Meng Xiong. Xian, loves that godlike man. She often tells the nine-headed beast about her first encounter with Meng Xiong and her love for him. She also gave the little beast a name, called Xiao Huai, with a heart full of love. Xiao Huai, you are the son of the Northern Demon King. When you grow up, you will also become a man like him who is majestic, eloquent, majestic, and can make all demons submit. This is the prenatal education of Princess Xian of the Northern Demon King, Xian. Such days are beautiful. 9 little beasts grow up day by day in their mother's belly. Until today, 10 years later, he was born. In the memory of the nine-headed beast, Meng Huai saw that woman for the first time. How familiar. At the first sight of this woman, Meng Huai felt that Consort Xian was like his mother who died early, gentle, virtuous, beautiful, and had a deep love for him. Cluck cluck. The nine-headed little beast was very happy, and Meng Huai, who had experienced all of this, was also very happy. After only howling twice, he fell asleep sweetly beside her. Not long after sleeping, he was startled awake. Someone wants to kill him. That hand is almost pinching his neck. Bold Munda. Do you dare to murder the prince? Mother and son connected, and Xian felt the danger and slapped the person's hand away, shouting loudly. The guest is dressed in crimson-made clothes. He sneered and said, this non-spiritual monster is not a demon race at all. To live is to lose the face of my North Demon King's mansion. Chapter 3. Black Demon Dog kills Consort Xian, Ghost King Flag traps soul. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Nonsense. Xian rebuked the person and said, my son's bloodline has returned to his ancestors. In the future, he will have the ability to connect with heaven. How could he be a demon without spirituality? Hey, it's not up to you now. We call him a monster or a monster, and we call him a livestock or a livestock. Take it to death. The attendant sneered and rushed forward without hesitation. This person's martial arts are sinister, and as soon as he uses his moves, he comes up with a gust of wind. The 9 little beasts that had just been born were about to freeze to death in their swaddling clothes. Wow. He trembled all over and burst into tears. Son. Xian was about to protect him when she was suddenly slapped by the eunuch. Bang. Wow. The beds of Xian and the 9-headed beast were all smashed to pieces. Xianfei, you have been pregnant for 10 years, exhausted your spiritual power, and just gave birth. You are not my opponent, so hurry up and suffer. Meng shouted wildly. Puff. A heavy blow hit her back, and Xian spat out a mouthful of blood. The scorching blood directly sprinkled all 9 little beasts on their faces and bodies. The 9-headed beast really wants to help its mother, but just a few hours after birth, what strength does he have? Wow. The feeling of helplessness was extremely uncomfortable, and he could only vent it by crying. Damn it. Xian's face changed instantly as she heard her son's crying as she was invincible. For my son. With a fierce heart, she took off the precious pearl on her forehead and stuffed it into her mouth. This precious pearl melted as soon as it entered her abdomen, and tremendous energy burst out from it, tearing at Xian's body. Bang! Xian's body could no longer withstand the impact energy of this precious pearl and exploded directly. Ong! After a burst of red mist, Xian transformed into an auspicious beast with a body resembling a tiger and leopard, a dragon head and a dragon tail, and a pointed head. This is her divine body. The unicorn Pisho. She forcibly borrowed the power of the precious pearl, but at the same time, she lost her cultivation and overdrawn her life, thus becoming the Pisho divine body. Break your head. Xian, who forcibly borrowed the energy of the precious pearl to transform into a Pisho divine body, greatly increased her combat power. A shadow flashed past, and before Meng could react, she instantly killed him. But as soon as Meng died, she was knocked to the ground with a palm and rolled around a few times. Who hit me? As soon as she finished speaking, she spat out 2 mouthfuls of blood. Looking back, Xian couldn't believe it. Meng, I treat you well. Do you dare to hit me? She stared with red eyes and gritted her teeth as she asked. Meng, the second director of the Northern Demon King's mansion, had long been hiding in the dark, waiting for an opportunity to launch a surprise attack. Sweeping the red Xian and the 9-headed little beast lying on the ground, Meng didn't say a word. Today, it is necessary to kill both Consort Xian and her son. A cold light flashed in his eyes, transforming him into a demon dog that was many times larger than the body of the Pisho god. Wang Wu. This demon dog, with a black body, white teeth, and red eyes, roared and emitted energy, which was terrifying. Call out. He slapped Xian again. Ah! Xian, who had been pregnant for 10 years and had difficulty giving birth for 7 days, had no strength to fight back in front of the giant demon dog, and her bones were broken in several places. Wow! Wow! The 9-headed little beast wanted to help and loudly rebuked the person who came. But he was just born, what abilities does he have? The sound emitted was only a weak cry like a baby. My son. Xian, who was seriously injured, heard the child's cries and thought he had been hurt. She was instantly heartbroken and tears streamed down her face. Empress Xian, it's better not to struggle anymore, so as not to suffer more before death. The giant dog finally spoke up. As he spoke, he took a step forward, his speed getting faster and faster, like black light, striking again. Bang! With a loud bang, the giant claw once again fiercely fanned Xian away. Xian collided with the palace in the distance, breaking several bones all over her body and bleeding from her mouth, nose, and ears. She's in pain. Hula! Another black wind blew directly over her body, and she couldn't dodge. Her back was scraped away like a knife, taking away all the skin. Now her entire spine is covered in flesh and blood, with a pale spine exposed, which is terrifying and frightening. Ah! The intense pain forced Xian to open her mouth and scream. Empress Xian, it's better to go early. The king is still waiting for news. Meng smiled and said to Xian, her smile was full of cruelty. Xian wished she could eat him directly. Dog thief! You must die hard. She placed the child, covered in blood, in front of her and stood up forcefully, glaring angrily at the old dog ahead. Ha ha ha. Meng, who had always been subservient in front of Xian, could finally burst into laughter this time, seeing her raging anger and even her hair standing up from the roots. What you are experiencing now is someone like an old slave, you have already experienced it. After laughing, Meng looked at Xian with great interest and said. Do you think anger can change your destiny? Do you think resentment can offset the gap in strength? He scolded Xian from a high position, just like the noble person who had once scolded him. Saying such words made him feel a surge of pleasure towards someone like Xian Fei for no reason. If you want to blame me, I'll blame you for giving birth to a good son. Who made his potential so huge? If we really make him an adult, wouldn't we have nowhere to die? This kind of pleasure made him want to say a few more words. Do you know? Xian's eyes were filled with fear. She thought they had misunderstood her son, treating him as an ordinary monster and a disgrace to the North Demon King's mansion before killing him. So, it's not like that. He, ever since we found out you're pregnant, we've been using various natural resources and treasures for divination. Over the past decade, your every move has been under our control. Consort Xian, we probably know more about his potential than you do. Looking at his former benefactor and now looking panicked in front of him, Meng felt at ease from the bottom of his heart. You guys. Xian's pupils dilated again. Of course it's us. How many people have you offended in the palace, Empress Xian, thanks to the king's favor over the years? At this point, Meng's eyes were a bit cold. This Xianfei Xian had once executed his 2 most capable godsons. I enforce the law impartially and renovate the harem, all for the sake of the great king and the northern demon prince's mansion. Xian was angry and sad. He, how can we not be? Meng doesn't want to talk nonsense anymore. Not at all. Everyone is bad, is it just your Xianfei and Tianlu clan who are good people? Before he could finish speaking, he suddenly waved his right paw and a black giant palm flew across the air like a shell, patting towards Xian. This Feng palm is too powerful, pressing down on her body with a creaking sound, and her bones seem to be about to break inch by inch. Does the king know? Xian gritted her teeth, emitting a red light all over her body, desperately resisting. Humph. The giant dog snorted disdainfully. Who doesn't know? I came under orders. Meng Xiong, that's your biological son. As soon as she heard this answer, Qixuan's eyes split and the last desire in her heart disappeared. He. You may not know how many aristocratic families and clans have been encroached upon by the Qishui Tianlu clan in recent years, and to what extent they have developed. Even the king is wary of the Tianlu clan now, Meng Yi sneered. My Tianlu clan has always been loyal, brave, and skilled in battle. Ha! Meng Yi stopped talking and increased her strength. The gusts of Yin wind not only eroded her, but also a few strands of Yin energy penetrated through Qi Xian's protection and crawled onto the 9-headed small beasts. This baby, who had been staring at the world with innocent eyes not long ago, immediately rolled up his white eyes, his muscles trembled, his face turned blue, and he was about to die. My child. Seeing Meng Huai's lips turn purple, Qixuan's heart was shattered. She pushed her hands upwards and vigorously dispersed the Yin wind palm. Then, enduring the piercing pain, he decisively raised his hand and broke the corner on his head, dig out the flesh and blood from the Pishio horn, squeeze it into thin pieces, and sprinkle it on the front. The blood, water, and flesh foam were stimulated by magic and spread between her and Meng Yi, like a red river of fire, emitting a dazzling light, blocking the black dog's progress. It's useless. The black magic dog pounced again. Humph. Qi Xian slapped the heavenly spirit cap and took out all of her life essence and blood. Her gaze towards Meng Yi was hostile towards coldness. When I turned my head to look at the 9-headed little beast again, it was full of warmth. She lightly touched her face against the face of the 9-headed beast, muttering with sadness. Child, it's my mother who's not good. I didn't take good care of you. The road ahead. You have to walk on your own. Promise mother, you must live well. Live well. After speaking, Qi Xian dared not hesitate. She used her essence and blood to turn the Pishio into a small boat, put 9 small beasts inside, and vigorously threw them northward. The Pishio horn boat is moving rapidly, flying towards the north. Watching her son fly towards the unknown, Qi Xian felt extremely sad in her heart. Her smooth face was already stained with blood, but at this moment, the tears flowing from her eyes washed out grooves. The child is the flesh that fell from her body. How could she bear to be thrown out just a few hours after birth? The weak and pale face after childbirth showed an indescribable poignant beauty. Qi Xian feels uncomfortable. 9-headed little beasts are uncomfortable. Meng Huai also feels uncomfortable. But the enemy doesn't care at all. It's useless. Meng Yi sneered and said. He had an extra black banner with a ghost king in his hand at some point. Shua. Just shaking at the 9-headed little beasts, a black light emerged from the ghost king's banner. This black light pierced through the void, and in the moment when the Pishio horn boat flew away, it restrained the 2 souls and 4 souls of the 9-headed small beasts. Chapter 4 Thunderstorm Night, Meng Huai arrives. 9 heads lost 8. You are listening at novelfull.audio. No. As his own child was about to escape from heaven, he didn't expect his soul to be brought back by Meng Yi, a servant dog. My child is about to die right after birth. Qi Xian could no longer calm down, her eyes lifeless, and tears flowed down in an instant. So how am I supposed to survive? Let's die together. She yelled with red eyes and smashed her demon pill with one palm. Bang! The physical body and soul exploded together, and the spiritual energy was raging, sweeping around like a tornado. Qixuan's self-explosion also caused some damage to Meng Yi. Bitch, how dare you do this? If you dare to harm me, then I will send people to search for you from thousands of miles and chop the body of your little bastard into powder after his death. A sharp voice echoed back and forth in the smoke and dust. Mother! Mother! Seeing that Xian was dead, Meng Huai's face was filled with tears and she couldn't help but softly shout. At this moment, he was completely immersed in the perspective of the nine-headed beast, filled with hatred towards the enemy and reluctance to part with his mother. The Pishio horn carried a red light and flew north until it exhausted its spiritual and soul power before dissipating in the air. The nine-headed little beast also fell down. A nine-headed small beast with only one soul and three souls, whose spiritual intelligence is no longer complete, how can it survive alone? He was lying foolishly under a big tree. Wah. Wah. He is so young that he can only cry, and the more he cries, the more powerless he becomes. The house leaks and it rains continuously at night. In the evening, the sky was covered with dark clouds, like pitch-black ink. In an instant, wind and rain converge, thunder and lightning intertwine. Boom, click, click. That lightning, one brighter than the other, the thunder exploded one by one, as if determined to split the day apart. Wow, wow, wow. 9 little beasts were hungry, tired and cold. Their thin bodies, which had just been born, shivered in the storm. Click. A purple lightning bolt split down from the void in the group of thunder. Coincidentally, this purple thunder hit the heads of the 9 little beasts directly. From the perspective of the 9-headed beast, he saw a figure approaching his sea of consciousness with lightning. It's Meng Huai. You're here. I can't hold on anymore. Revenge. 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 Live well. Live well. The sound of curses and blessings echoed in his mind, pounding Meng Huai's soul. Ah! After a loud scream, Meng Huai woke up. Wow, what a big tree! He shook his painful head, opened his eyes, and found himself lying under a big tree that was over 200 meters tall and had a diameter of over 10 meters. Looking up, there are various types of trees and vegetation everywhere. Is this a primitive forest? Meng Huai looked around in confusion. All the trees are lush with branches and leaves, especially the kind of green that almost turns green in his heart. The air is fresh, the birds sing and the flowers are fragrant, the scenery is picturesque, like a fairyland, and everywhere is full of that vigorous and upward vitality. So I'm not dreaming. Taking a photo of the earth, the thick feeling made Meng Huai realize that this was a real world. Am I crossing over now? Meng Huai withdrew his gaze with a bitter face, shook his head, and organized his memories. Am I taking away the 9 little beasts now? He couldn't accept his current situation for a moment. Ah, can we still go back? He still wants to go back to modern times. I'm afraid it's not possible. At the very least, it's not possible now. But after his analysis, he came up with this result. However, there is no need to be discouraged. There is extraordinary power in this world. My body has 9 heads, which is definitely not easy. As long as I work hard. Oh my, lying down. Meng Huai, who was comforting herself, suddenly screamed. Where's my head? This horse in the mud, where is my head? With widened eyes, Meng Huai glanced left and right and found himself with bare shoulders and no head. What is this situation? Meng Huai was really scared and her heart was pounding uncontrollably. He quickly ran to a puddle and looked in the mirror at the water. Where are my 8 heads? At this glance, Meng Huai was even more shocked. I used to see that the 9-headed beast had 9 heads, but now why is there only 1? And why is this appearance so similar now? Like a red little pig. A slender, pink and tender figure appeared in the small water surface. Upon closer inspection, the short nose, flat mouth, small eyes, and big ears are very similar to the red piglet. Where's my dragon head and tiger head? How did this turn into a pig's head? Meng Huai Xuan Q. It was a divine beast with 9 heads that had been taken away, but now it's like this. Ah. Doodle doodle. Not. Not. Definitely not. Meng Huai shook his head, exhaled, and quickly shook the image of the little red pig out. I am the body of a divine beast. He stood up and spoke loudly to himself. 9-headed divine beasts. It seems like the Kirin clan. Yes, yes, the dragon-head pig body is like a Xian. The 9-headed Xian, do you think it's powerful? He desperately recalled the appearance of the 9-headed small beasts in the sea in his mind. I'm just young now, my blood probably hasn't been activated yet. Yes, it must be. I have seen his soul in the sea of consciousness, just like the appearance of a 9-headed divine beast. Crossing into a divine beast was the greatest comfort for Meng Huai to travel to this unfamiliar place. But the shadow in the water before him still reminded him. He is now a pet image with only one head, the size of a kitten, and looks like a little fragrant pig. Staring at himself in the water for a long time, a sentence somehow came to his mind. So, it's a bit cute. But immediately, he knocked himself on the head. Pooh, 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 I'm a man, why should I be so cute? I am towering and upright. I don't eat soft rice. Even if you eat, you should also eat soft and hard food. He crazily stood a flag for himself. If I want to eat hard and eat soft food, ah bah, if I want to stand firm, I also need a strong body, black hair, long teeth, and thick skin. When I grow up, develop, and regain my divine beast body, at that time, I will look down on the world, dominate mountains and rivers, and arrogance over the world. Ha ha ha, I saw it, I saw it. I saw a blue sky, a rising sun, a grassland, stretching into the distance. The dancing girl's eyes were hot and burning as she looked at me. My majestic figure was invincible and majestic, and I was galloping like a galloping horse. The vast expanse of the world made waves for me. Meng Huai was thinking about her future in her mind, drawing a big cake for herself, with an uncontrollable smile on the corner of her mouth. After a long time. Gulu. Gulu. Meng Huai, who was lost in thought, suddenly had a stomach ache. Are you hungry? No awkwardness, who can still skip meals. What are you eating? In theory, my body has only been born one day and I should be breastfeeding. But where can I go to find milk to eat in this wilderness? Meng Huai stood up and looked around. There were trees and grass everywhere, but he couldn't see the white bottle and pink pacifier anywhere. Alas, that thing is not easy to find here. He listened carefully again and heard the faint sound of water flowing in his ear. There should be a river ahead. Catch fish and eat. I'm as big as a cat now, so I probably can beat fish. Upon this thought, he ran wildly on all four legs towards the small river. Upon arriving, Meng Huai realized that the river was very wide. As for how wide it is, he doesn't know either. Anyway, he can't see the other side. There are many aquatic plants by the river, and the water flow is not very fast. I lowered my head and took a sip of water. It's quite sweet. Take another sip. He extended his head into the river again. Wow! A burst of water rushed through. Oh my, sleeper slot, what the hell is this? A big fish suddenly jumped out of the water and rushed towards Meng Huai. This fish is over 1/2 meter long, with a slightly raised back and a shallow curved belly. It has 3 rows of teeth and 2 pairs of long whiskers. It looks like a carp, but its whole body is golden. It should also be a different species. His grandfathers, he can't even drink water steadily. Meng Huai cursed in his heart. I'm a divine beast, I haven't eaten you yet. Are you a fish, still trying to bite me? He is still a bit depressed. You don't want to inquire, Grandpa is a divine beast that is born to eat fish, okay? Meng Huai jumped back and dodged the attack of the golden carp. With another leap forward, his 2 front hooves stepped on it. Hee hee, maybe I can't beat you in the water, but on this shore, I'm still holding on to you. You don't need to go back in this water, just leave it as my lunch. After speaking, Meng Huai opened his mouth and bit towards the golden carp. Hey hey hey, I'm going. With such a lot of effort. I don't know what kind of carp this is, but it's really exciting. Without paying attention, Meng Huai really didn't hold it down. He was knocked over. The golden carp seems to be also a hot-tempered master. It didn't want to go into the water either. Instead, it twisted its body, opened its big mouth, swung its tail, and charged towards Meng Huai again. Chapter 5. I was picked up by the dragon girl and thrown away again. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. In the grass by the small river, neither the little cat nor the big fish could beat each other, causing a temporary stalemate. Although they are not big, the battle is also very intense as you come and go. At some point, two people appeared in mid-air. My face is hidden in the white mist, I can't see clearly. You can tell a woman by her clothing, especially by her delicate and captivating figure. Sister Baiyu, look at that. The woman in red had a crisp voice like a copper bell and said to the one in white, there's a pig and a fish fighting over there. The woman in white had not spoken yet, but Meng Huai heard it from below. He is angry. Without even lifting his head, he yelled at the other side. I am a divine beast. 9-headed divine beasts, do you know? You are the pig, your whole family is a pig. Cluck, Baiyu, look, that pig seems to be angry and barking at us. The woman in red covered her mouth and smiled coquettishly. You. Meng Huai still wants to curse again. Just thinking about it, I haven't refined the transverse bone in my throat yet. With just one mouth, it's just a cry of "Ayo ayo." I guess no matter how much I scold, I'm exhausted and the other person won't understand. Forget it. He held a breath in his heart and turned to attack the golden carp even more fiercely. On the shore, the golden carp had less than 30% of its strength than 10%, and suddenly, a few shimmering golden scales fell off. The golden carp was also angry. It thrust a carp and fanned Meng Huai, taking the opportunity to jump into the small river. Jumping into the water, it doesn't walk either. It held its head high in the water and shouted at Meng Huai. Although Meng Huai couldn't understand, he knew from his expression that he was saying, if you come down, let's fight again. Do you think I'm stupid? You have the guts, come up here. Meng Huai was also getting excited while fighting, standing on the shore and shouting at the water. You come down. You come up. Shouting, Meng Huai suddenly woke up in shock. Has this carp become sperm? His eyes twitched rapidly. Otherwise, how could you argue with me here? He carefully looked up again, looking at the woman floating in the air who couldn't even see her face clearly, and was even more frightened and sweating. Done, run quickly. I can't even beat a shapeless carp myself. Those two who can fly, either big demons or cultivators, are the masters they can't afford to provoke now. I look like a red pig now. If these two like to eat roasted sucking pig or roasted baby pig, I will be eaten by them. There is no reason to argue. At this thought, Meng Huai dared not shout recklessly. Little fish, please wait. I'm hungry today, and when I'm full, I'll come and fight you again. After speaking harshly, Meng Huai turned around and ran away. Sister, look. That red pig is running away. The woman in red pointed at Meng Huai and shouted loudly. You are the pig. Meng Huaifu slandered the woman in red. He didn't dare to speak, and he didn't stop under his feet. He didn't even lift his head and continued running. The golden carp and the little red pig should both be born mutants. Sister, let's take them back to the dragon palace. The woman in red spoke again. As you please. Baiyu paid no attention to such a small matter. The woman in red reached out and pointed, revealing two transparent water bubbles out of thin air. Call out. In the blink of an eye, the water bubble covered over and circled the golden carp and Meng Huai. The woman in red waved her slender jade hands again, and Meng Huai and the golden carp were pulled to their front. This spell bubble seems to have a magical array effect. The golden carp and Meng Huai didn't even realize they had been caught. Still running away separately. Sister, look at these two silly ones, it's so fun, the woman in red smiled and said. Baiyu glanced at it but showed little interest. Sister, I want goldfish. You take the red pig, we each have one. I don't want it. Baiyu refused. Sister, it's boring for me to keep them alone. Let's have a fight next time we meet, sisters. We can also compete and see who we are better at raising. The woman in red seems to have thought of something very interesting. The woman in white sighed and rubbed her hair before saying. Hongyu, have you forgotten? Sister, now it's time to apologize. Being driven by my father to this barren land on the edge of the 10,000 demons empire, I guard the empty Qingying lake every day. I am considered exiled, but I have no conditions to keep monster pets. Sister, are you still crying poverty with me? Hongyu straightened her hair and curled her lips. Then I'll take care of it myself. I keep them as pets myself and let them play around when they have nothing to do. Seeing her younger sister's high mood, Baiyu did not persuade her again. Let's go. The two of them continued flying north in the clouds. Meng Huai had already felt something was wrong. What's going on? Why did you run for so long, still those few trees, a few grasses, or that scene? After Meng Huai stopped, she looked up. Is there such a beauty in the world? Through the thin blister film, he saw a woman's face at a glance. Her stunning appearance was extraordinary, her cascading long hair swayed gently in the wind, her demeanor dignified, yet full of fairy charm. Meng Huai's heart and mind were greatly shaken. He was momentarily stunned. Sister, look at this red pig peeking at you. Red, you said in a coquettish voice. Baiyu slowly lowered her clear autumn-like eyes. In Meng Huai's eyes, her eyes were the holy spring of light, even the sun in the sky dimmed a lot. Where did this beauty come from? Why is there such a captivating appearance for all beings? He looked at her warmly, as if all his thoughts had been sucked away. Staring at by the scorching gaze of a male monster, Dragon Maiden Baiyu's eyes flashed with a hint of unease. She waved her hand, and the ripples on the blisters separated Meng Huai's gaze. Sister, throw away this pig. She lifted her red lips lightly and opened her mouth, saying. Ah. Hongyu was a bit surprised and said, Why, sister? This golden carp can still be raised in the spirit pond. There's no place to raise this pig. Your parents won't let you raise pigs in the Dragon Palace. It's okay, I'm keeping it in my dormitory. No way. Why? This pig is too colorful. What? He is public. So what? Hongyu really wants the red pig and golden carp to play together. Hongyu, this is not that kind of little beast without intelligence. Baiyu spoke up again to persuade. Is he spiritual or public? If you, a dragon girl who has not yet left the palace, are found hiding a lustful boar in the palace, it may damage your reputation. This. And if his parents find out, they will definitely execute him. Baiyu said somewhat seriously. Okay. Hongyu no longer insists. Anyway, she also likes this golden carp more, so let's go back and let this golden carp play with her own lobster. Sister, where should I throw it away? Just throw it into the oak grove below. There aren't any big monsters there, it should be able to survive. Baiyu stopped the cloud and pointed down, saying. As soon as Hongyu reached out, she threw the bubble that wrapped Meng Huai down. Meng Huai was still savoring the enchanting radiance in the beauty's eyes when suddenly he fell from the sky. I don't know if Dragon Girl Hongyu's magic is not pure. At a distance of over 200 meters from the ground, the bubble burst. Meng Huai fell straight down. Ah! Sleeping slot. He smashed directly at a large oak tree. The pink body swiftly passed through the leaves and branches, causing a painful scrape. Can't you just cross over and fall to death in less than a day? Meng Huai, who had bumped into the treetop 2 or 3 times, thought sadly and indignantly. Chapter 6 System is here. What system? Joint. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hula. Although the thick branches slowed down Meng Huai's falling speed, they also made him almost fall apart from the impact. Bang! As if falling from a 30-story building, he smashed directly into the thick leaves and soil. Pop! Coincidentally, in the final blow, his neck collided directly with an incredibly hard tree root. Bang bang! The bone in the back of the neck was broken, and Meng Huai immediately felt a tearing pain. It didn't hurt much either. Then, the entire back, neck and body were all numb. Done. I can't move anymore. Meng Huai tried hard to twist his body, but his body showed no response. There is no perception at all. Did I fall into a high paraplegia? He kept his eyes wide open. Isn't this worse than falling to death directly? Meng Huai couldn't believe it. This is his first day after traveling. Hi. Beauty. Fairy. Auntie. Don't leave. I was broken by you guys. Help me, please. Watching the cloud flying towards the distance, Meng Huai quickly shouted. Unfortunately, the dragon lady drove the clouds too fast and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Heartless and vicious little ladies, don't let me catch you next time. If I catch you, I will definitely spank you hard. Meng Huai couldn't help but curse. He tried to gently shake his head to see if he could get up. I don't know if one nerve is still useful, but my head really moved. Okay, then, with a click. That head turned straight to the right. Suddenly, Meng Huai's world was tilted. I'll go. What situation is this? Is this neck completely broken? The area where his head is connected to his shoulders, except for a piece of skin, has all the muscles and nerves broken. Did my head fall off? He felt a whirling sensation. What should I do? Hiss. Meng Huai, who was hanging his head like an upside-down gourd, was about to find a way when he suddenly heard a rustling sound. What sound? His head couldn't move, his eyes were spinning up and down in search. What is it? Something cool crawled onto his left face. When the thing lifted its head, Meng Huai finally saw the triangular black head in blood-red letter. I'm lying in a groove. Where did this venomous snake come from? Why are you coming so fast? The sweat on Meng Huai's head immediately came out. Didn't I just fall off? Are venomous snakes so dedicated to hunting now? He was frightened by a venomous snake staring at him face to face, face to face. His body couldn't move, and the muscles on his face were involuntarily trembling. Poisonous snake, how did you drive it away? Indian Ah-san, who is good at playing snakes, seems to play the flute or whistle. I'll give it a try too. Shiyo. His mouth had just pouted, making a slight whistle sound. Whoosh. The venomous snake rushed up and bit into his mouth. Woo. Whistling is useless. Meng Huai's eyes widened. Pain. The lips bitten by the venomous snake first pricked, it's numb. Then, numbly, wooden. I can't feel it directly afterwards. Is this thing toxic? Meng Huai lowered her eyelids and looked down, only to see the snake fiercely biting his mouth, its waxy yellow eyes staring at him. You're infringing on me. The snake's mouth was facing his mouth, and its teeth were biting his lips. The snake's letter kept drilling into his mouth, like a wet kiss, which was disgusting. But he didn't care about nausea. Because he could see with great freshness that a purple-black line was spreading from his lips towards his nose, face, and eyes. This snake is not just ordinary venom. It's highly toxic. It's completely over now. I am completely paralyzed and bitten by a venomous snake. What should I do? Who can give me a trick? I don't have many tricks left. Meng Huai thought about himself now and didn't know how to survive. Oh my goodness. The more he thought about it, the more he felt suffocated. Meng Huai couldn't help but roar at the sky. What heinous thing did I do? Are you doing this to me? Why does this life make me so uncomfortable when you deprived me of my happy life in the previous life? I'm not convinced. I don't want to travel once and die like this. Meng Huai was furious, his eyes fixed on the sky, and his heart roared loudly. Perhaps the heavens heard his shout and only heard a ding-dong sound in his mind. A crisp voice sounded. The system master is loading. Please be patient and wait. Meng Huai's eyes suddenly lit up. Here we go, as a standard feature for the trailer, you're finally here. System environment scan. Please be patient and wait. System environment scan completed. Provide 2 systems for selection based on the host's current situation. Upon hearing this, Meng Huai's heart was filled with joy. Ha, my system is so advanced. Not only is there no lag, there are also 2 systems to choose from. Just as he was thinking, the mechanical voice continued to speak. System motherboard. Invincible combat system, top. Level, / joint system, no level, please carefully consider and make a choice. Please note. There is only one chance to choose, once selected, it cannot be changed. What the hell is the connector system? Meng Huai heard of this system for the first time. Why bother thinking about this? Even fools know how to choose. I definitely choose the invincible combat system. I want to be invincible at the beginning, then pretend to be forced to face off and open the harem. If I put it down, it will be amazing. Upon this thought, Meng Huai immediately spoke up in her heart. Select the invincible combat system. System Master. Considering that the host is loading the system for the first time, this System Master kindly reminds that the invincible system has only combat power, which means the best defense is attack, without defense or treatment. Meng Huai was a bit confused when he heard it. What does it mean? System Master. Choose an invincible system with combat power, and you can instantly kill the venomous snake in front of you with just one breath. However, you won't be able to connect to a broken neck, move, or detoxify it. What? Meng Huai said, does this mean that I will become an invincible paralyzed person who has been poisoned and is about to die? System Master. Understand correctly. Meng Huai. What is the use of the connector system? System Master. The connector system is a system specifically designed for the current situation of the host. As the host's only head is currently disconnected. Meng Huai was about to ask further when suddenly the alarm rang. Dee. Warning. Warning. The host's 5 organs are about to be invaded by snake venom, please choose as soon as possible. Please choose as soon as possible. Please choose as soon as possible. This is a bullshit. There is only one answer left. Select joint system. Meng Huai quickly shouted in his mind. Host has already selected. Loading the connector system. The connector system is being activated. Ding. The connector system has been successfully bound. Connector system. May I ask where the host chooses to connect? Meng Huai was a bit puzzled and said, where is what connected? Isn't it connected to his neck? Connector system. The host currently has 9 connector positions, all of which are vacant. You can choose to connect it anywhere. Special reminder, currently the host only has one brain available, it is best to connect it directly in the middle. Otherwise, having a head on your shoulders won't look very good. Are you talking nonsense? Meng Huai felt that the snake venom had already started to burn his heart and lungs. He didn't want to talk nonsense to the system and directly said, connect to the original position. Ding! Joining up. As soon as the mechanical sound passed, Meng Huai felt a magical energy emanating from her mind, rushing directly to her back neck. Chapter 7. Meng Huai is poisonous and the system scams the spirit pearl. You are listening at novelfull.audio. With a few clicks, the joint system connected Meng Huai's broken nerves and muscles, curing his injured cervical spine. This is even more effective than 30 years of traditional Chinese medicine. Without time to listen to the system introduction, Meng Huai flipped over and grabbed the venomous snake with his front hooves. He then lowered his head and bit off its head. If you dare to bite me, I dare to bite you. Watching the body of the venomous snake wriggling back and forth on the ground, he kicked it away and let out a foul breath. Ouch! But then, his eyes turned black, he felt dizzy, and he fell down again. Snake venom hasn't been cured yet. System, quickly detoxify me. Sorry. This system does not have this function. A mechanical and cold sound sounded. What functions do you have? Joint. Besides that. Sorry. The voice experience time for this system has expired. If you want to continue using Smart Voice, please purchase it. What? Grandpa, by the way, do you still have to spend money? What is your circumcision system? Meng Huai couldn't help but curse in his heart. Another wave of the feeling of venom hitting his brain came, and he didn't hesitate. He quickly opened the system panel to see how to handle it. A blue light curtain appeared in his mind. Name. Meng Huai race. 9-headed divine beast cubs, disabled, degraded. The first two lines made Meng Huai's face twitch. Am I disabled? Have I degenerated? Am I still a divine beast cub? It's uncomfortable. Joint position. Center, normal, left 1, left 2, left 3, left 4, right 1, right 2, right 3, right 4, vacant, status. 20%, weak, poisoned, on the brink of death. Physical fitness. 40, height 15 centimeters, body length 30 centimeters, weight 60 pounds, this is purely the size of a kitten. Soul power. 80 cultivation. None skill. None skill. None talent and supernatural ability. Able to eat, slightly, junior rice bucket, I'll go. Why add a slight when the divine power is eating? The meaning is that the function of cooking is not powerful either. What kind of ghost is that rice bucket behind? Who has nothing to do and even assigns a rank to the rice bucket? Universal point. 0 system level. No level system function. Connector system prompt 1. No level connector system can only connect to one's own head, a high-level connector system that can connect the heads of other creatures to oneself. Please upgrade as soon as possible. Meng Huai is numb. What kind of thing? Do you only have the connector function now? Can only take your own head? Is it so easy for my head to fall off? Do you need to connect yourself frequently? Also, why do I have to take someone else's head on me? System prompt 2. This system has 4 levels, namely, no-level connector system, first-level true connector system, second-level plug system, and third-level replacement system. What is this? Meng Huai felt a bit deathly when she saw this introduction. Other people's systems are all dominating, omnipotent, invincible, devouring, and so on. What am I? Did you use your head as a light, wire, or plug? It's connected, plugged in, and replaced again. System prompt 3. Universal points need to be exchanged for all spiritual items such as spirit stones, demon cores, golden pills, and magical tools. System Prompt 4. The universal point can be used in all upgradable options and is a divine tool for you to dominate the world and quickly rise. Please redeem it as soon as possible. Is it so important to be versatile? But now I'm naked all over, nothing. Just as I was thinking this way, the crisp voice rang out again. Non-graded joint system. The beginner's gift package has arrived. Do you accept it? Ha, I just said the system can't be so pitted. Hurry up and open it. Meng Huai was overjoyed. Ding. The no-level joint system beginner gift package has been opened. Opened. The host gains the beast language skill, can understand, cannot speak. Get a 3-day experience of intelligent voice interaction. Get 3 body scan experiences. Get a random gift of 1 universal point. The big gift package has been opened. What? Meng Huai's heart was filled with a series of question marks. Playing. Is that all? What big gift package is this? Giving a useless skill as a gift can only be heard, not spoken. How much more stingy can you be? I gave you 1 universal as a gift. How could you speak up so well? Meng Huai felt that if he wasn't poisoned to death by this snake venom, he would also be infuriated by this sand-carving stinging system. Is this body scan for medical purposes? I guess that's all there is to it. I am currently poisoned and it works perfectly. Meng Huai quickly muttered to herself. Activate body scan. The body scan has started, please wait. Ding. The body scan is over. Scanning report. The host is penniless and has only 1 poor light egg. There are only 2 spirit beads in the sea of consciousness, containing young fire and true water energy. Would you like to exchange them? What? Meng Huai feels a bit like cursing his mother. Is this a body scan? You should be scanning your fortune. I only have the treasures left by these 2 9-headed brothers, right? Have you even thought about this protective life spirit pearl? Whether to exchange it or not? The mechanical voice ignored his complaints. Meng Huai doesn't want to exchange it. But now that he is extremely poisonous and dying, what else can he do? You can only exchange for the universal point first, and then go to the system mall to buy antidote. Life is crucial first. Sorry, Brother Johto. In order to save your physical body, we can only sell your companion spirit treasure. Don't worry. In the future, my brother will definitely make some good ones for you. After muttering a few words in his heart, Meng Huaiqiang suppressed his heartache and said those 2 words. Redeem. System. Start redeeming. Meng Huai felt a tearing sensation in his mind, and the yin and yang 2 spirit beads floating above the sea of consciousness were torn away. The sea shook, and he shook his body for a moment. His mind went into a daze and he fainted. The efficiency of the system is quite high. It's already done. System. Redemption completed. Redemption universal point 588 points. Bad merchants. Meng Huai couldn't help but curse. The system, such a good treasure bead, why exchange it for such a little bit of versatility? System. Although the level of the spirit bead is high, it has not yet been fully nurtured and is severely depleted, resulting in insufficient energy. Okay, you can compete with those who run pawn shops. A brand new down jacket, you can all say one thing. Worms and rodents bite, a tattered old coat. System. Kind reminder, snake venom has further invaded the brain. Please exchange detoxification drugs for the host as soon as possible, otherwise there is a risk of immediate death. Meng Huai was frightened and sweated profusely upon hearing this. At this moment, he suddenly realized that his lungs and brain were burning like fire, and his mouth was filled with the smell of rust. Looking down, there was already bleeding from the 7 orifices. Exchange for snake venom antidote. Meng Huai quickly shouted at the system. Sorry. The system level is too low and the system store has not been opened yet, so it cannot be redeemed. What? What? I laid a nest of grass. Why did you take away my 2 spirit beads when you couldn't exchange them? Are you teasing me here to play? Meng Huai was so angry that he spewed out a mouthful of fresh blood. If possible, he really wants to kill this shameless system with a knife now. Can you give me an explanation? Meng Huai shouted at the system in his mind. Chapter 8. Meng Huai stunned by Qi in the dangerous wilderness forest. You eat it, I eat you. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Upon hearing Meng Huai's question, the sound of the system changed a bit, crispy and even more ruthless. A system-produced product must be a masterpiece. What? What nonsense are you talking about? System. The system never engages in unprofitable transactions. Then you shouldn't have fooled me, Meng Huai was furious. System. My rules are rules. What? I grabbed another handful of grass. I really can't refute what you said. Cough. After spitting out another mouthful of blood, Meng Huai felt his vision starting to blur. There's no way. He could only look at the system panel again. I have looked back and forth several times, and only the physical fitness item is still useful now. He could only curse and nod down. There is no antidote, we can only rely on our physical condition to carry it hard. Pop. I clicked on the plus sign after my constitution, subtracted 10 from the universal point, and my constitution increased by 1. A mysterious force rushed out of his brain and then wandered back and forth within his body, slowly improving his muscles and bones, making him more solid and his body weight increasing. He clicked repeatedly. As the number of universal points decreases, the number of physical fitness is also rapidly increasing. Meng Huai's body grew bigger like blowing a balloon. By the time the number behind his physique reached 98, his body had grown by more than double. I'm strong. Meng Huai can feel the surging power inside his body. But he didn't have time to get excited. Because the snake venom is still there. Resist, resist, I must resist my current constitution. Meng Huai prayed in his heart. I can't just disappear like this. With a flash of thought, Meng Huai, who was both angry and anxious, had no strength left and his eyes darkened, fainting. Meng Huai is located in a place with many mountains, rain, water, rivers, and swamps. The wild grass is tall and dense, the trees cover the sky and the sun, and there are countless animals and plants living there, with danger everywhere. Just as Meng Huai fainted, not far from him, a gray viper was slowly climbing up the tree trunk. This gray viper is over 1 meter long, with thick fists and a triangular head, which looks very fierce at first glance. There is a bird's nest on the tree with 3 light green eggs, which are the eggs of the blue-spotted spirit bird. The bird's nest is clean and tidy, and the bird's eggs are crystal clear. There should be a happy family of blue-spotted spirit birds living here. The gray viper quickly crawled into the bird's nest, its eyes twitching. It didn't choose to eat those eggs now, but instead squeezed its body into the bird's nest. The bird's nest is filled with dry branches, grass, and leaves. It burrows in and lurks there. Due to its color, when the gray snake remained motionless, it immediately merged with the bird's nest. G. A blue-spotted spirit bird flew extremely fast from the forest. Chatting. It should be afraid that no one will take care of its egg. As soon as it caught a green worm, it anxiously ran towards home. Whoosh! It's just so fast, like a black lightning bolt. At the moment when the bird had just flown to the top of its nest and was about to fall, the gray viper rushed out and bit its body, pulling it down. Gg. The blue-spotted spirit bird screamed and struggled. The gray viper paid no attention and flipped around a few times, wrapping it tightly in its grip. Just 1 or 2 minutes, then blue spot bailing will no longer struggle. It has round eyes, very innocent, very unexpected, and has no vitality. After death, it still looked at the child in its nest with reluctance. After confirming that the blue spot bailing had died, the gray viper released it and opened its mouth to swallow it. No need to chew, eat the whole thing. After a big bird had eaten, before it was satisfied, it turned its head and looked coldly at the 3 bird eggs. Then, one by one, it was swallowed into the stomach. After eating, the gray viper uses its neck muscles to crush the eggs, sends the yolk protein into its stomach, and then spits out the indigestible eggshell and protein film. He vomited in the nest where a few blue bird feathers had fallen. After that, it finally became satisfying. Hiss, hiss, hiss. The letter spat out recklessly, and the gray viper probed from side to side. After confirming that there is no more food in this bird's nest, it slowly climbs down. I haven't eaten enough yet. It needs to search for prey again. Hiss. The blood-red snake venom was swallowing and spitting. The fragrance of meat. It smelled Meng Huai's scent, grinned, and quickly crawled over. Suddenly, the gray viper seemed to have sensed some danger. Hiss, hiss. It suddenly raised its head, swallowing and thrusting messages, constantly probing the surroundings. I have been exploring for a long time, but have not found anything. On the face of this fierce gray snake, a humanized expression of doubt appeared. Although I don't know what came, the feeling of danger became stronger and stronger. Hiss. It looked nervous and couldn't help but curl its body up. Then, he raised his head very high and tilted it back slightly, making an appearance of ready to attack at any time. After waiting for a while, I didn't feel any vibration from the ground, nor did I even smell any smell. For snakes, if their upper body is held high for too long, they will feel very tired. It slowly lowered its body, wanting to rest for a while. Just as it was about to get close, but not yet close to the ground, a black object floated in the wind and rushed towards it. The gray viper is extremely alert. In the moment when the dark shadow fell, it did not choose to continue to bow and dodge, but immediately rolled. After rolling around, it rolled the black shadow down and stopped rolling. Instead, without hesitation, it charged forward. It wants to escape. Unfortunately, it didn't run away. Puff. The fleeing gray viper collided with a large net. Turns out there was a trap ahead. Hiss. This spider web is particularly sturdy. The black viper rolled rapidly, unable to break free, but instead made its spider web entangle more and more. Although the spider web has not yet trapped it, it has also hindered its speed. The pitch-black spider behind swung its 8 slender legs and rushed over. The black spider crawled directly onto its back and opened its mouth, biting towards its neck. Hiss. The excruciating pain kept the gray viper rolling incessantly. The black spider, the size of a football, remained silent, biting it tightly and continuously injecting venom into it. 2 minutes later, the black viper became weak and softened. At this moment, the big black spider slowly crawled forward a bit. Climbing to the position of the snake's head, it lifted its head and suddenly plunged downwards, its mouth parts penetrating deep into its head, where it drank its brain water happily. After sucking his brain, the black spider didn't hesitate any longer and opened its mouth to spit silk, wanting to wrap the snake, take it back, store it, and use it as food. Hiss. Suddenly, a very faint rustling sound came. The black spider's leg hair, which was processing its prey, seemed to have noticed something. It looked around very alertly. After a moment, the black spider seemed to smell something and was startled. It didn't even ask for the snake it had hunted hard, so it quickly ran along the silk to the tree. A small group of ants is coming. They are slowly approaching the bloody snake with an indifferent expression on their faces. This ant is very big, about the size of a little thumb, and it looks different from ordinary ants. It looks like a hornet. This is the wasp ant, a group of mutant ants with high intelligence, fierce temperament, and strong combat power. They are the dominant force in this forest. Except for a few ants who were snatching prey from the black spider. There is also a wasp ant with its two antennae swaying back and forth, detecting a huge flesh and blood object in front of it, which is its own food. So, waving its large pliers, it rushed towards Meng Huai. Chapter 9. An ant wants to eat Meng Huai, the pit dad system is too stingy. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hey. This wasp ant had just arrived behind Meng Huai and used its strong jaws to bite the ball behind his buttocks. Ah! The sound of killing pigs immediately echoed through this forest. The ant was not satisfied yet, so it used two pairs of large pliers to grip his wrinkled skin, sharp like the tip of a syringe needle, and then plunged in, gurgling venom into it. It is preparing to kill Meng Huai alone. Ouch! 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 It really hurts Meng Huai. He, who was sleeping soundly, had no idea what was going on. What the hell is this? Who fired the gun? Where did the bullet come from? Why do I feel like I've been hit by a bullet in the back? Or is someone throwing sandalwood onto my baby? Oh my! My mother, it really hurts me so much. This ant's chosen position is too clever, it is the weakness of all male creatures. Hiss. Meng Huai felt so painful that both legs and all the muscles in his body were trembling. Bang! He couldn't bear it anymore, so he shouted and ran into the tree. Meng Huai wanted to knock herself unconscious in order to get through this disaster. Unfortunately, he underestimated the toxicity of this wasp ant. He was knocked unconscious, but the excruciating pain immediately woke him up again. Ah ah! Meng Huai shouted with blood and tears all over his head. Help, come and help. What should I do if my baby doesn't let go after being bitten by ants? You're in a hurry. Pinch it down. I don't have any hands now, how can I pinch them? Meng Huai is going crazy. That wasp ant is also a warrior and a determined one. Seeing the prey still moving and not dead, it wouldn't let go, like a stapler's nail, sticking to it. Meng Huai could only jump and scream in agony. After a quarter of an hour, he finally came up with an impossible solution. Thanks to his small stature and soft body. If it were a long and thick wild boar, he wouldn't be able to do it either. After holding back the intense pain and stabilizing his body, he slowly moved his head and cautiously extended his mouth to the big ant, then, gently bite it, even if you're afraid of biting the wrong place, biting through the skin, then it's over, I probed and pulled very slowly. The wasp ant felt the threat and tried its best to bite, as the venom from its abdomen began to flow relentlessly into it. Another wave of electric drills drilling straight into the buttocks. The sharp pain spread directly from behind her buttocks to her brain, causing Meng Huai's hair to explode. But this also made him feel ruthless. Hey! He gritted his teeth and slammed his head, tearing off the wasp ant. Looking back with tears streaming down his face, his perineum was swollen to the size of a red peach, crystal clear and not scary. Here, there are also the mouthparts of the wasp ant, two large turtles, and tail needles with some flesh, flowing black water, yellow water, and red water, hanging there. Meng Huai felt angry in his heart. He didn't want to eat ants, so he chewed on the wasp ant and swallowed it, then opened a meat dish. This is not over yet. That poisonous needle or something is still embedded in his flesh. Unable to do anything, Meng Huai could only stare with bright red eyes, turn around and lean behind his buttocks, using his small tongue and baby teeth to lick down the large claws, mouthparts, and venomous needles of the wasp ant bit by bit. After a while, tears streamed down his face. It looks like it's breaking my heart. Wasp ants die, don't they stop hurting? How could it be? Its poison has already been injected. At this moment, Meng Huai felt the sensation of waves higher than waves, of burning red iron bars poking his buttocks behind him. The sourness is abnormal. Moreover, not only did he suffer from pain behind his buttocks, but even his back and shoulders began to experience a burning pain. What's going on when I bit my butt and even my head hurts? Meng Huai, who was lying there in pain and convulsing all over, couldn't figure it out. He has no strength to scream anymore, so he can only lie there soft and hum. He doesn't want to move. I can't even move if I want to. The venom of wasp ants also has an anesthetic effect. He can no longer control his muscles. The toxicity of this wasp ant is really great. Unexpectedly, because he chewed on the poisonous needle with his mouth, his tongue and lips were all stung and swollen. Ouch, roar. Ouch, growl, growl. Her lips turned into sausages and her tongue became like ham, all numb and straight, making Meng Huai unable to even hum clearly. What is this? Meng Huai, who dared not speak and felt pain as soon as she spoke, could only think in her heart. What kind of forest is this? Why is it so difficult to deal with even an ant? This is a monster, isn't it? I don't know if my universal points have grown after eating this ant. A blue light flashed past, and Meng Huai's system panel was opened again. Name: Meng Huai race. I looked at it once, nothing else changed, just status. 85%, poisoned. Oh my goodness, I'm poisoned again. Meng Huai really wants to curse. Physical fitness: 95, height 45 centimeters, body length 80 centimeters, weight 145 pounds. There has been a significant increase in physical fitness, so there's no need to worry about being poisoned to death now. Universal point: 9 o'clock. Why hasn't the universal point increased? Can't eating increase omnipotence? What kind of disability system is this? Meng Huai is very depressed. But he didn't feel depressed for long either. Because not long after, he fainted from the pain. If it weren't for personal experience, Meng Huai would never have believed that being stung by an ant can be painful for a day and a night. Yes. That's it. Even more than that. It wasn't until the next evening, when he woke up and fell asleep, that he was able to stand up. Ouch. At the moment of standing up, Meng Huai shuddered. Get out. Revenge. He dared not look back at the bell behind his buttocks, turned around and ran forward. If we insist on destroying the nest of these ants, we must avenge this deep hatred no matter what. Meng Huai thought with resentment. But when he snorted and sniffed for a while, followed the scent, and finally found a group of wasp ants going out again. The excruciating pain that hit his bones yesterday scared him. He let out a loud growl and turned around to run. Humph. You guys wait. Waiting for Grandpa to become stronger. I'll dig out all your queens and eat them. He ran and spoke harshly. Causing those ants to sway their tentacles. I don't know if they understood his wild words. I think I didn't understand. Those little ones are still hunting for their own food, without caring about the running enemies. We cannot bully the small with the big. Meng Huai comforted herself in her heart. But I need to become stronger. I can't even defeat an ant. This place is so magical, with such tall trees and crazy ants. I wonder if there are any spiritual roots or fruits. If there were ice spirit leaves, evergreen flowers, Tianyuan fruit, Xiang root, Tianshan ginseng, starry lotus, and Xian vine, that would be great. These things are all standard accessories for travelers. Eating one can achieve great martial arts. Meng Huai is recalling things from a previous life's novel. Chapter 10. Overturning the spirit fruit tree, enhancing the ability to eat. Meng Huai wants to eat cattle. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When the time comes, I'll go out and pretend to be a pig and eat a tiger, slapping faces everywhere. Hee hee, how much fun should it be? As soon as Meng Huai thought of this, his eyes lit up and his mouth involuntarily cracked into a smile. Success is achieved through hard work, not waiting. Go ahead and do it, Meng Xiaoqiang. He flipped over and suddenly ran out. Meng Huai was not unprepared either. For now, he doesn't have the fangs, thick skin, long hair, great strength, and divine abilities of a divine beast. But he already has a nose with a keen sense of smell. After a rough attempt, one can at least smell the roots and stems 2 to 3 meters underground, as well as the fragrance of wild fruits 70 or 80 miles away. Humph, humph, humph. Meng Huai walked while smelling, avoiding all the dangerous areas. Those with tiger feces and wolf urine, those with a rotten smell, and even those with a snake smell. He didn't go at all. Now he is still weak and can't run to them to give them dim sum. He doesn't have that kind heart. Ha! There's a refreshing aroma of lingua over there. This is his goal. Meng Huai, who had walked more than 60 miles south, smelled a particularly strong aroma of ripe fruits 40 miles further southwest. He's even more careful. Start running slowly over there. Every few steps, stop and take a look around, take a few more steps and smell from left to right. He has only one life, so he has to be cautious. Oh my, I'll go. When Meng Huai walked up to him exhausted and could see the bright red fruit, he was so angry that he wanted to curse. There are fruits here, but they are all on the trees. I saw a tree towering into the clouds in front of me, about 90 meters tall at first glance, occupying 110 zhang radius alone. This spiritual fruit has no leaves or branches, it's just a trunk, and it's bare. How do I eat this? Can I climb a tree as high as 30 or 40 floors with my bare hands? Meng Huai stared at the tree and pondered, looking helpless. By the way, can I climb trees? Meng Huai looked at her pig-like hands and suddenly thought of a derogatory sentence towards men. Men can be trusted, and sows can climb trees. I think I will. He shook his head and threw away the image of the sow on the tree, then walked towards the spiritual fruit tree. When he reached the bottom of the tree, he worked hard for half a day and was still on the ground, can't go up. Is there a more tragic traveler than him? It's so easy to find a spirit fruit tree, but it's hard to get up and reach. Are you angry or not? Searching on the ground, what if there are wild fruits falling? Meng Huai was quite optimistic and started sniffing on the ground. Unfortunately, this tree should indeed be a spiritual fruit, and there is no accumulation of past fruit pits or the like under the tree like other wild fruit trees. There isn't anything on the ground, is there anything in the soil? Dig through the soil and find it. Meng Huai started digging under the tree again. I searched through the soil but couldn't find a single fruit. I'm going to curse my mother. Oh my goodness, you're bullying people too much. Meng Huai, with a disheveled face, stood under the tree, looking up with all his might. There are over 30 blood-red, longan-sized fruits on the top of the branch, which look very tempting and smell even more fragrant. But he just can't eat it. Are you angry? Hi. Suddenly, Meng Huai rolled her eyes and shouted at the tree. Big tree, I've loosened the soil for you. Can't you reward me with a fruit to eat? Unfortunately, this tree that only grows fruits but not leaves is still shaking its branches there, just not falling a single one. I'm so angry. I arch. It was already dark, and Meng Huai, who had been busy for half a day, dared not run around in the forest at night, so he couldn't go back. He sniffed around and didn't feel any wild beasts running over, so he began to arch the ground with his nose under the big tree. Humph. As long as the hoe dances well, there's no corner that can't be dug down. Oh no, as long as I can arch well, even the towering trees can arch down. He was determined to eat that spiritual fruit. At least something that can move 100 or so pounds. The power of his nose is beyond imagination. Even facing this hard ground, he can easily dig a hole. When encountering thick tree roots, he bit them with his teeth first, and then he could forcefully push them off with his nose. The darkness did not affect his work. In the darkness, his eyes were glowing green, and from a distance, they looked like two sparkling emeralds. At midnight, Meng Huai bit off all the lateral roots of this tree. The main root cannot be let go either. Creak, creak. Humph, humph. After another busy night, he bit off half of the thickest roots of the big tree. Bang, bang, bang. In the early morning dew, Meng Huai bathed in the first ray of eastern light and began to hit the tree. It hurts. He is still too small now, less than 50 centimeters tall and less than 1 meter long. Every time he hits this nearly 100-meter tall tree, it's like tapping the legs of a chair with a pencil. But he didn't give up. After a few collisions, stop and bite with your teeth before continuing to collide. My body hurts on this side, so I'll hit it with the other side. This can also be considered as Yugong moving mountains. Meng Huai thought to herself. As the sun shone overhead, the tree finally made a clicking sound. Meng Huai heard it and quickly ran far away. Puff. When he ran to the edge of the clearing, the red fruit tree happened to be swaying in the wind for a few times before falling down. I finally have it. Meng Huai ran back and took a bite of the fruit. Delicious. After swallowing 3 or 5 spiritual fruits, Meng Huai, who was full of fragrance, began to savor them carefully. He is not very skilled and has no knowledge about exotic fruits or anything else. After eating for a while, I just felt my mouth and tongue salivate, and I didn't recognize what kind of treasure it was. Seeing that this fruit is red, I immediately gave it a name, called red fruit. A total of 30.6, I've already eaten half of them. Has there been a significant increase in skill? I'll give it a try. After speaking, Meng Huai lowered his head and forcefully arched the fallen tree. But with his head and buttocks together, like an earthworm, he twisted left and right, exerting all his strength, but did not let the tree move at all. Hee hee. Meng Huai, who was panting with exhaustion, was disappointed. He lay there staring blankly at the sky. What exactly is this situation? What about washing essence and cutting marrow? How about great improvement in skills? Why is there nothing? He is very angry. After working so hard for so long, it was all in vain. Meng Huai was very angry. What am I wearing on this journey? Why is the protagonist's halo so weak? He doesn't have the heart to eat either. Directly opened the system panel again. After the blue light flashed, he looked carefully and nothing else changed. The state has been restored to 100%. He looked at it again and only then did he notice a slight difference. The slightly note after able to eat in the innate powers is missing. What does it mean? Is this rare-looking red fruit just one function? Strengthening the spleen and appetizing. After eating more than 10 spiritual fruits, the biggest benefit is that I will be able to eat more in the future. Meng Huai is very depressed. Didi. The system suddenly made a sound. System. Kind reminder, the system has detected something rich in spiritual energy around the host. Do you want to activate the scan function? Start up. Meng Huai said weakly. System. The system has detected 18 spiritual fruits containing energy next to the host. Would you like to activate the exchange? Ha. Can this be exchanged for a universal point? System. Of course. Any spiritual item rich in spiritual power can be exchanged. How can I exchange it? System. Hold the spiritual object in your mouth and open the exchange. Must it be in your mouth? System. You can also put your hands in the palm, but do you have your hands? Cut, this is discrimination against our divine beasts. Claws and hooves cannot be counted as hands. The system ignored him and still mechanically said, "May I ask if the exchange has been activated?" Meng Huai quickly took the remaining red fruits into his mouth one by one. Activate redemption. Redemption starts. Meng Huai looked at herself and felt the red fruit in her mouth disappear out of thin air, as if someone had taken something from behind. Redemption completed. This redemption has 360 universal points. It's not too little either. With the experience of exchanging 2 spirit beads for over 500 points last time, Meng Huai's expectations have become much smaller. He looked at the system panel again, and there was a plus after the 2 items of physique and soul power. After some thought, he still focused on his physical condition. Pop 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 pop. After a burst of noise, the number behind Meng Huai's physique changed to 131, his body has also grown again, standing 62 centimeters tall, 110 centimeters long, weighing 199 pounds, and looks like a little calf. Meng Huai felt his current state. I'm full of strength now, very powerful. The sudden improvement in physical fitness filled him with confidence in himself. It started to rain heavily in the sky, and the water on the ground flowed like a stream. This place is also strange. There are no clouds visible, but the rain is not small, pouring down like a ladle. Perhaps the appetizing effect of red fruits was highlighted, and his stomach began to rumble again. Meng Huai is hungry again. I think I can eat a cow. He really wants to eat. Unfortunately, there are no cows here. He didn't consider the question of whether he could fight well or not. What's good to eat? He wants to find someone he can handle. Suddenly, he seemed to remember something.